Hello, everybody. As we get closer and closer to Prime storyline finally resolving, I'm here to talk about the cut stories that never made the cut. Because I have a lot of these. Some ranging from funny to very, very fucking dramatic to pretty fun little action pieces. Okay. Now later, I'm working on a video now to explain why Prime is so powerful. Other than the fact that he's been a god for he's been a god like one, two, like three times. But it goes a lot more deeper than that. A few of those times I was actually going to explain it to you guys. I was actually going to explain that, back in the day there was a prophecy that said the first, the second, the firstborn out of a set of tuplets would be the one that would exceed all other Chaos Lords. Actually, and it was something that was actually in the background of the Mockverse, because I felt like on one hand it made sense. On another, I don't know, I just stopped doing prophecies because originally the first draft for the mock-off movie was actually going to explain that a little bit more and the reason why he's so powerful at all. A few other cut stories were Prime. Since Prime can hop other dimensions, it's not difficult to think that he could get with anybody in any universe. Again, a lot of the other Bugsies do have a phase where they just go to other universes because they want to see what's out there. And various animes and various shows that they've seen actually do have actual universes connected to their own. But for this particular cut story, it was the idea of having Lena Inverse and Bugsy Prime as a couple. You're probably wondering, what, like, you had that? Oh yeah, that was like an actual thing. But the real reason I kind of didn't go through with it all the way is because one, just didn't like the effect of the idea that my character would get with Lena, because at first it was funny. It was like a little running gag that that he would kind of be Lena and him would be so enamored with each other that their own personalities and how they clash with one another kind of takes a backseat to them just kind of making out and stuff like that. And I kind of like that. It was a fun idea at first, but then I just realized. I was rewatching a whole bunch of Slayer. I'm like, even if my rationale behind this was like, even though Prime and Lena Inverse get married, it's not them. I felt like I was trying to push two characters together that, again, may have a little bit of a history, but they were never supposed to end up together. Not for real. Ergo, why I made the line that he was. I mean, the line for Prime's character where he's the one actually that got stood up at the altar because Lena wanted to go with Gallery, and to this day, when someone ever brings that up, Prime's always like, she left me for an idiot. You know, there's a lot of history about Prime and his various attacks and his pretty much and some parts where his anger comes from. Because you're like, well, Bugsy, aren't you just angry anyway? So basically, isn't he just he's a part of you? So well, yes, but his anger does come from me. But there's a story reason why he's like this. For all, for every battle he has ever fought, for every little piece of, for every little piece of recognition he's ever got, and for all the good he's done, negative, or as I like to call him, nega, has grown stronger, and this would have led to a internal struggle between negative and prime, because they are the same person but within each other. Because I had this idea of when they combined, they really kind of don't really, they are the same person and they're supposed to combine, but they don't really mesh. And the whole thing was gonna revolve around them just kind of fighting for control. But the actual the thing I settled on is that they both, you know after a while, they both wanted to become one person again. Ergo, negative is the reason why his chaotic personality is still in effect. Because when they were split, he was more of a goody two shoes. But now that negative is back with they're back as one person, kind of like how Piccolo and Tommy fused together. Various parts of various parts of various parts of Bugsy Prime's personality returned. But that whole idea of them fighting for control was kind of dumb, because I've done that all. The way I thought about it, I did that already. I thought it was a good idea for a while, but having them just continually fight was kind of a dumb idea. Um, and here here's a scrap storyline that I kind of scrapped, but kind of didn't. I reworked it, like the stuff between Aridin and Monica. Originally, Aridin was supposed to run off with Monica, and Equius and Gamzee and Prime were supposed to find them, and them trying, and then Prime just really trying to coax Aridin back into coming home. But what would have happened is Aridin kind of slipping back into what he used to be, a guy who lets his anger get the best of him and kills people. But I decided not to let that happen, because even still, it showed that because when I was doing the story, while I was writing it, it showed it didn't make sense for me for Aaron to go back to his old ways and be the Kate douche that we all know he is. We all know that the main timeline Aaron is. So I said, nah, we're just gonna scrap this, but we're gonna kind of feed it into another storyline. A scrap video from that idea was Monica actually, like, I was actually going to get like the Monica after story, and there's gonna be a series of videos where Aridin and Monica, are kind of like, where Aridin and Monica are just kind of like, talking to each other, and you kind of see their relationship kind of blossom. I'm still gonna do that, but I'm not gonna use that as a story. I'm actually gonna write a story about that. But yeah, it was gonna be Aaron kind of learning to be a little bit more, well, more humble, and less himself, less the bad parts of himself, because Monica actually makes him a little bit better. Because how Aaron goes, no one understands. He always says that. So the one person that kind of does understand him more so than Prime, Prime, and Equius and Gamzee is Monica. Ergo, why she always stays around. To the to the shock and amazement of Prime, because Prime's always because there's a running gag I'm gonna kind of put in effect pretty soon where Monica's like trying to beautify beautify Prime Prime in the other's house. Eridan doesn't mind it, but Equius, Gamzee, and Prime actually do. It's another one of my little another one of my little subplots where they're just kind of like where he goes, Monica, could you not like put doilies on my desk? It's kind of not. It's not that. It's not cool. And I'm right here, and I get you try to help me, but I mean, you and Aaron got a room. How would you start there? The others, you know, Gamzee is kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like you can't just honestly just come up into a guy's room and just start doing a total motherfucking makeover. It just ain't right. You know, Monica doesn't. Monica. Okay, like to explain how she is towards the others. She's nicer, and and on some occasions actually even kind of she kind of respects Prime for a lot of different reasons. Because Prime's the one that actually gave her a chance to live with all of them, for one. And in another universe, I could see those two actually getting together, but I'm not going to. But I'm probably revealing a little too much. Okay, more cut stories. Um, okay, here's an old one. Ansakamaru actually leaving the big three box network. This was an idea I had where there'd be like a little mini series where Ansakamaru goes back to Paris because well he used to be a Phantom Thief there and he kind of it's his own way of actually just kind of just kind of reconnecting with himself. Originally, that's where he was supposed to meet. That's where he was supposed to meet Stocking after all these years. That was gonna be his thing. And Prime during some of the videos, he's like really he like there's gonna be parts where he actually literally like breaks because he's like, I don't need Ansakamaru. I can do this all by myself. I can make these jokes all by myself. I can do this all by myself. I don't need him. Yeah, because the original idea of Ansakamaru splitting away from Prime was that they actually have an argument, and because of that, They split up. Why I wanted to do this was because it kind of gives you a little bit of it kind of gives you a little bit of history repeating itself because Harima and Prime back in the day fought, and that's when Harima went to go chase after Tenma, and the events of Skull Rumble happened. So yeah, it would have pretty much been history repeating, and it would have probably given you uh, not only context to what happened between him and Har, but more of a it kind of would have hammered home that Bugsy Prime and Ansakamaru they sort of need each other. Like it was actually going to be more like one needs the other more than one needs the other more than one things that they do. That was going to be the thing. Um, a few others. Oh yeah, the first draft of the Mock-Off movie, which was going to have Prime and the others fight Gygus, which was way back before Gamzee, Aridin, and Equius were kind of recurring characters. They were before they were mainstays, before they were really things. That was back when we were doing Phase 1. Yeah, y'all didn't think I planned all this. Oh, yes. Although Phase 1 did kind of go longer than I expected it to. But it is what it is. And, yeah. So this is when they would fight Gygus, and you start to learn that, but Bugsy Prime was actually Bugsy Prime actually reincarnates in the different characters over the course of his reincarnated lifespan. You would have found out that he was Ness. Although back in the day I did make allusions to the fact that he kinda is. But then, since then, I've kind of retconned it because, yeah, just kind of. Ever since the whole Sans' Nest thing, I've just been kind of hesitant to do my own thing on it. So I just kind of pushed it aside. But, here's an. But basically, yeah, it would have been like a little action movie where you would learn a little bit more about Prime and his powers. We don't. Before I really said, he's a saint, he's a Chaos Lord, which means what it means now. Because okay, and a few other small ones. One that's a little small. It was videos where Prime would literally say where he knew what he was, but he would never tell the audience what what kind of thing he is. He isn't really he used to think he used to say he was a Saiyan just to be like, and the funny thing is Argos. There's another character of mine that's named Argos, and Bugsy Prime's real name is Argos. There's actually a connection with that, and I was actually gonna reveal that a little bit early, but not now. But yes, there's a connection with those two. But I'm not gonna say how yet. But basically it's going to be revealed a lot earlier, and it was going to reveal a lot of other deep stuff about Bugsy Prime as a character and parts of his reincarnation cycle that happened. There was going to be there was going to be a story, a slew of videos about. There was going to be a slew of videos about talking about Prime's talking about Prime and how you know and how his supposed first love Ryoga back in the day before I added stuff to his backstory that now are like mainstays to it. But I was gonna talk about his first love and his wife Ryoga and how everything came to be and how everything happened the way that it did. Well, the thing is, it would have been compelling and it would have been interesting, but I kind of want to leave some of that a mystery because yes, Prime did have a good life with Ryoga, but there's a lot of things you guys don't really know, and I just want to keep those to my chest so one day if I want to reveal those, I can. Here's an alternate version of where Prime talks about his past. I was literally gonna go into detail that even okay, the mind thing he knows is from an alternate timeline where he actually intervened. It is the truth of what happened, so I don't totally step on the toes of mainline Homestuck. But pretty much Gamzee is an alternate timeline version of himself, so is Equius, so is Aridin. But the thing is, it was gonna explain more things like how unlike unlike Ryoko, who he basically brought back with the cost of her not remembering him, he was going to talk about how he can't really find Mind Fang anywhere in the afterlife whatsoever. And it's one of the things that he just kind of gets sad about. But most of these sadder ones I was actually not gonna do because with the Ryoko thing, it was more about like when I started out, I wanted to give you guys comedy rather than a bunch of drama. Actual story drama, not like YouTube drama. Who's who's doing what? Just regular story like drama. That's what I was planning to do. Um. Also, there's there's actually a there's actually another scrap storyline where we actually see more of Prime's session in Spurb, but I wasn't gonna actually explain. I'm not explaining that just yet, but this one was gonna be earlier, and you actually get to understand the various time loops he put in place for Friska. Well, the version of Friska that is his daughter, and pretty much everything plays out in Homestuck, and it kind of explains why it really truly actually explains and gives more context to why Prime really hates Lord English. Why does he want to kill him in the first place? And why he really feels like he's the only one that can. Also, the fact that Lord English fell into a black hole and kind of died. Kind of like a magic if you think about it. And before I talk about the last one, can we all talk about how Terezi and John kind of had a moment? I mean, she bit his lip to the point where he was bleeding, and she just kind of sucked on his lip. But they kind of had an intimate moment. Can we talk about that? Could any of us talk about that? Because I don't see because I'm on the Homestuck High Swap Reddit, and all I see is Dirk and stuff. But we ain't gonna talk about John and Terezi because even in both timelines, John has showed that he actually really, really, truly, honest to God, cares about Terezi. I find that kind of interesting because there's never been an indication of that before, and I find it kind of interesting. But also, David Cardcutter thing, so what would happen if she comes back and sees those two together? Okay, last one. The the Bugsy versus Bill event. This is when Bill Cipher comes back because in our world he's a statue and someone shook his hand, and because Bill's in our world now, he can do more than what he could do back when he was in the dimension where Gravity Falls took place. And because of that, trying to take over this world and make it into one big party is a way for him to just kind of cover a loss that he had during Weird Mageddon. Now, Prime wasn't gonna let that happen, and even Bill actually comes to him first because he's powerful and he wanted to try and make a deal with them, trying to screw him over and take his power. But the thing about but the thing about But the thing about Prime is any handshake or deal that Bill can do, or any entity that can do that to him, he actually has a way magically how to reverse any deal that's made with them. And because of that deal, Bill stays in the statue, and then someone shakes his hand again, and that's what starts this event where Bill's just really wanting to kill Prime and Prime wanting to really kill Bill, and it was like a back and forth, kind of like a spy versus spy kind of deal. It was one of those like things where I wanted to just. It was one of those things where I just kept thinking about it, and after a while, I just didn't have the means to really tell that story. Now I do, but back then I couldn't really do it. Also, I can't do the little Bill voice thing, which I'm gonna do a little bit later. Yeah, you guys are gonna hear that, but not now. I love these cut stories. Came from times where just I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough know-how, and I, I didn't have enough know-how and energy to really pull these off. Some I put in the burner and are reusing them. Others are just alternate versions of what I could do, and I think that's about it. I think that's all I really have to say on the matter. I have a lot more cut stories, but these are the ones I can remember from the top of my head. Oh yeah, yeah. And oh yeah, there's one more. The the um the plot point of where Ansagamaru and Bugsy Prime own the island that was in freaking DOA Beach Volleyball. Yeah, there was actually going to be like an actual story kind of saying how Bugsy Prime actually got it off of Zack and how he actually like took it over, and I was actually going to show the poker game and everything, and the fact that both Prime and Ansakamaru, who they didn't have anybody at the point, it was their way of just meeting hot ladies from other dimensions, which classic Bugsy and Ansakamaru are all about. Ooh. One more thing before I go. Classic Bugsy and Ansakamaru are gonna make appearances every now and again. So they're going to appear. It's gonna be a very interesting it's gonna be a very interesting storyline. But it's not gonna happen the way you think. I can't tell you any more than that. But I'll see you guys later. And this has been Bugsy No Name for various cut stories of the Big 3 Box Network. Part 1. Because there are a lot more cut stories I actually cut. And I have like a big list. I can't find that list. But when I do, episode 2 will happen. See you guys later.